Hello, everybody. This is Gary. Today is Sunday, November 28th, 2021, and this is my coping with schizophrenia blog entry for today. I'm doing pretty good today. I stuck to my daily schedule today. My anxiety's not too bad. My hallucinations aren't too bad. My delusions and paranoia are under control. My depression is pretty much under control. Today, I wanted to do a video on why I never had any children. Um, I never had any children because schizophrenia can run in families um, genetically. My mother was alcoholic and she was mentally ill, and my sister was mentally ill and she committed suicide with a shotgun. And I, of course, have schizophrenia myself. It tends to run in families. I had 9 living brothers and sisters until my sister committed suicide. Um, so I never had children, mainly out of fear of passing my mental illness genetically to my children. And also, of course, financially, I was never capable of taking care of children. Um, or got enough money in disability where I could support children. It just didn't make any sense. I wasn't going to have the government supporting me and my children. That is just something that was, as an idea, morally reprehensible and irresponsible. And I found it morally reprehensible and irresponsible to possibly pass my mental illness onto my children. Um, I don't think I would have been an abusive parent or anything like that, but I do think that I was incapable of properly raising children, and I never had the financial resources to have children, not even one child. Um, my mother and father had 11 children. My sister died when she was an infant. Her name was Beverly. And as I already stated, my other sister committed suicide as an adult in 1996. She was my oldest sister out of 4 sisters. Um, the stakes were just too high for me to risk having children and passing my mental illness onto my children or child. Um, Not that they know exactly what causes schizophrenia or any other mental illness for that matter, but genetics definitely plays a role in it. I think it's more than just coincidence that me, my sister, and my mother were all mentally ill. Um, the only difference between me and my mother and my sister is I haven't died from it, at least not yet. I have no plans to commit suicide. I don't drink like my mother did. My mother died primarily from alcoholism, which was used to mask her mental illness, to self medicate. And my sister just outright committed suicide. I don't drink, so I'm certainly not going to die from alcoholism. Not using any illegal illicit drugs right now, so I don't think I'll be, and I haven't in years, so I don't think I'll be dying from alcoholism or drug addiction. Um, but I did smoke cigarettes for 30 years, and I guess I can guarantee that I'll never develop lung cancer from it since it's recently that I just quit smoking cigarettes and I was smoking 2 packs a day. Hopefully, I've mitigated the effects of smoking as much as I can by quitting now. Um, but I can tell you from personal experience, having a mental illness like schizophrenia can be nightmarish. It can be hellish on a daily basis. And while I won't commit suicide or commit a violent act, um, I wouldn't want to wish my mental illness on my worst enemy. It can be terrifying at times, hearing voices, paranoia, fear, anxiety, insomnia, hallucinations, delusions. It can all be pretty terrifying, and I certainly didn't want to pass that on to my children. Do I wish that I had the capacity to have children? I don't know how to answer that question. I guess you can't miss what you never had and never really wanted in the first place. Um, I mean, a lot of things can cause mental illness. Child abuse, which I was not an abused child. Drugs, alcohol, genetics, a lot of things. Malnutrition during pregnancy, um, smoking cigarettes, drug use during pregnancy, alcohol use during pregnancy, which I think my mother also did, which may have contributed to my mental illness and my sister's mental illness. Um, I just never wanted the responsibilities of taking care of a child because my abilities are limited by my mental illness. I also didn't want to pass my mental illness on to the children. So, mainly, I'm not emotionally capable of taking care of a child. I didn't want to pass my mental illness onto a child, and I never had the finances to support raising a child. Um, and so I know nothing firsthand about what it's like to raise a child or to lose a child to some cause of death. Um, I don't pretend to understand that kind of thing. The only parenting that I saw as a good example is what my father did after my mother died. He took care of 10 children basically on his own without being abusive. Um, and he was a good parent. And if I was going to be a parent, I would like to be the kind of parent he was. And I'll pretty much leave it at that. That's why I never had any children.